Thank you.
7 minutes. I will give you the signal when we have one more.
All 7 minutes. What's going on?
Good. How you guys?
Great. Good. How are you
Awesome.
doing?
Yeah, I'm really well.
Start with you.
Sure. The show is so wild and crazy and out there. How did they prepare you for that? Did you read the source material?
They didn't. They didn't prepare us. It was wacky as well. You know, we try to do as much preparation for ourselves when we, land into this world. We definitely got the source material and read, the editions from Grant Morrison, from Gerard Way, which is where we was told that a lot of our material is going to come from. But you never really get to grips on it until you're actually going up the donkey's ass, and then you realize, oh shit, yeah, this is the Doom Patrol, and it gets wackier and weirder each season. And just when you think that you can't get any worse than a talking street or some butts, then you're throwing sex ghosts or jizzing in the street or whatever else comes next. And season 4 is just that. It's bigger, it's better, it's wackier, it's weirder, and yeah, you're gonna love it.
Hi. I'm wondering, can you tell us about Victor's journey this season?
Yeah. So at the end of season 3, we left Vic in a place where he confronted his father and decided that he is going to take matter into his own hands, and he wants to experience what it feels like to be Vic Stone, what it feels like to be a human, what it feels like to just be a black man. And we saw that when he was having a conversation with Frenzy, and he was questioned about what it means to be black, and that really got to a point where he decided that he had to experience that and had to know what it meant. And so this season we pick up with Vic, losing his cybernetics and going on the journey to try and understand exactly who he is and what it means to be Vic Stone first and foremost, and make his own choice and his own decision. And we really do, see him battling with what it means to be a hero, because he's lost all of the glory of what makes him a hero, But I think he comes to the understanding that being a hero is not just about the cybernetics and the power that he has, it's about the mentality of wanting to protect and serve. So we get to explore that and see where he finally ends up once he makes a decision on what works for him. I think one of the big things they'll take away from the season is the Doom Patrol. I think what I mean by that is just the essence of the collective. For so long we've been in a place where they've been fighting against being the Doom Patrol and coming together as a band of superheroes. And it's always been about, going against the grain and going against the mold of what it actually means to be a collective. And this season is the first time where they're forced to come together and forced to be the Doom Patrol in its superhero glory. And we really get to see the moments that we've all been yearning for and we've all been waiting for when we see, this band of freaks together. And even as a fan, all you're wanting is for them to gel and to kind of come together, and we do get to start to see the essence of that this season. So yeah.
First off, man, shout out to your barber. That fade is clean.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, man.
No problem. What is the limit do you think Cyborg is willing to go in terms of weirdness? Because like you said, y'all go all over the place. So it's okay, this is it, I'm done for Cyborg's moment for him.
To be honest, I think I'd have to put it down to what the fate is. Yeah. I don't think there's anywhere that Cyborg is not willing to go so long as the protection of the people are at risk. And so long as he has an opportunity to be able to save the people or do right by the people, there's nothing that stops his bravery, there's nothing that stops his camaraderie at that point. And so, yeah, I think it would have to be, weighing up what it means, because he's willing to put his life on the line. He does each and every day, and even down to, losing his cybernetics. At that point, he's no longer in control of, being the almighty, all-powerful Cyborg. He's at that point vulnerable, very vulnerable. And when you think about the different places and the adventures that the Doom Patrol go on, to not have your cybernetics and not be in control or in power, that's a very scary place to live. And Vic still decides to go on that journey and to be Vic Stone without the protection of his cybernetics into dangerous and crazy worlds and still live out that dream. So there isn't much places that he's not willing to go as long as the people are still there to be protected and served.
Thank you.
Perfect. So
previous season where the team goes back in time, and Vic is a great scene with the store with his dad, and told he's looking for a black action superhero, and he's told we don't sell them. And just that definitely was the case, like maybe 2 decades ago. I'm a big Static Shock fan, and they didn't make any toys, or anything. Kids would buy a black superhero. Now, last decade, you have Cyborg, you have Miles Morales, you have Black Panther. I'm curious if that scene resonated with you in any way.
Oh, 100%. I think one of my glory moments that I feel is being able to have some input in the writers' room for last season and actually talk about some of the issues and really wanting to address a lot of the things that we and television doesn't really get to address when it comes to, especially, you know, black diversity within sci-fi and superheroes, and really not shy away from that. And it was really brave for the Room Patrol, our writers' room, to be able to say, look, no, we're going to do this and we're going to have a conversation about this. And yeah, it has shifted over that time, but I still think not enough. And until it does, we have to keep having these conversations and keep putting that at the forefront. And so, yeah, I give kudos to the team for allowing us to do that and for putting us in that position. So, yeah, man, it impacted me tremendously, and it was just great to be a part of that journey and that conversation.
So the show in general, like you were mentioning, walks this fine line. You're talking a lot about dealing with issues of black diversity, dealing with issues with your character's father. At the same time, you're hitting these really wacky areas too and having a lot of fun. As an actor, can you just talk a little bit about juggling those two tones?
Yeah. I think, like, as an actor, it's for me especially, it's been a dream, because I started with, you know, just straight acting, theatre, Shakespeare, and then I ended up, you know, creating and building a comedy network and platform with the Wall of Comedy in the UK and Europe. And so I stepped into comedy, and, you know, that was created my own show on YouTube and then television. So I had a huge love for just straight acting and drama, but at the same time I fell into comedy. So this show has been the perfect opportunity for me to be able to balance both and live in that space with all of the craziness and the wackiness and the wonderfulness and the comedy, and also almost be like, you know, the sarcastic relief, if you will, as well as being able to do a lot of those adventure and the action and everything serious of it all. So it's really an actor's dream, especially for someone who wants to and likes to dabble in both those areas. And I look to, you know, Will Smith is a big inspiration of mine, and someone who has done that perfectly throughout his career, lend into comedy and also lend into just straight acting and, you know, the world ending. So yeah, it's been great, and it's been a great opportunity to play in that world and play in that space.
Oh, great, that was all.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Quick picture at the table. Mind if we get a picture at the table? Thanks so much.
No problem, bro. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Y'all want me to send it to you?
What? I'll be part of that moment forever.
Yeah, iPhone.
Yeah.
AirDrop.